If you're gonna say something, fucking own it. How are people supposed to believe in you and follow you into any of these fights or battles or wars if you go back on what you said? If you said it, it means you meant it, hopefully. If you didn't, then instead tell us. Don't say it didn't happen, you didn't say it. Tell us you didn't mean it. Tell us it wasn't really in your fucking heart. Because if it was, you should be owning it. Go into battle, beat your fucking chest, and say, damn straight I said it. What are you going to do about it?
Tony, I was watching some shows about Caesar and all the aftermath that happened after his assassination, and the sides that like started to group up in their little things. You had these soldiers, these generals that had their soldiers behind them. Then you had the guys, the killers, the assassins. They were using gladiators, like they're paid mercenaries. And I was just interested in how they all just started to posture and bring in weapons into the Capitol. And it's very funny that you can just paint this picture in your mind of what it was like. And we got movies now that are trying to show us what it was like. I've been seeing these promos on this Gladiator, this new Gladiator movie. I don't know if I want to give it the time of day, but you tell me, what have you heard about it?
Oh, you're talking about Gladiator II, right?
I guess that's what it is.
So Gladiator 1, Gladiator, came out. Did you see
the best movie ever.
Yeah, just incredible. Came out in 2000, I think 2000, actually. And that was the one with Russell Crowe, who was amazing. Obviously they're trying to capitalize on the success of that. Gladiator 2, but 24 years later. For one, the first thing I wanted to say was, something's wrong with our society when Gladiator 2 comes out at the same time as a show, this show called Wicked. Wicked, that's like a remake spin-off of Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
And the movie Wicked, and it's a musical, kicks the ass of Gladiator 2 in the theaters.
Something's wrong.
What the fuck is wrong with people? But
it's like a Broadway show or something, right?
Yeah, but saying that, look, my last name is Roman. My son's name is Maximus. You know how I feel about the Roman Empire and the history of it all and the culture of it all. And saying that, fuck no, I haven't seen it. And the reason why I haven't seen it is when I saw the promos, I picked up on the woke
undertones.
Well, there were almost overtones. It was like obvious, and I don't know if a lot of people really could sense it, but for me, it was obvious. And in the movie, look, in Gladiator 1 and in Gladiator, you had the famous line, "There was once a dream that was wrong." That's amazing, right?
Yeah.
A fucking dream. They made it happen. It'll never be duplicated again. And now what I noticed when I saw the promos is you have Denzel speaking with a New York accent. They didn't have fucking New York accents back then. And his line that kept playing over and over again was, and now we have Rome, instead of the line I mentioned earlier, now we have lines from him saying Rome must fall, saying, I just need to only give it a push. That was his line. I just need to give it a push. It needs to fall. I just need to give it a little push. Yeah. And when I saw that, I was fucking done. Not only that, the accuracies were terrible. You have Denzel with his New York accent, right? Brooklyn accent. He's drinking tea. They didn't drink tea back then.
Yeah.
They didn't fucking drink tea. Sitting at a cafe, which they didn't have. Reading morning papers, which they didn't have newspapers, but they didn't have a printing press.
Soy latte gladiators.
Yeah, they didn't have printing presses back then. They were carving into stones, basically.
Yeah.
They didn't have sharks swimming in the Colosseum. I mean, it was just a little bit ridiculous from what I could see. And I just thought to myself, you know what? I'll leave it at Gladiator, the first one. And
I didn't even catch that. So Rome must fall. That's what he
Rome
says.
must fall. Yeah,
That's a BLM message.
it was. Yeah, it was
Sounds like
BLM.
Burn it all down.
Burn it all down.
Right.
So for me, that was enough, and I stayed away. Yeah. But they compare Rome to America, and
seems like they want to burn America down too.
they want it to fall. They just want to give it a little push, and the people that are pushing are the ones that have been in power with the help of the FBI and other institutions like them.
Yeah.
We are compromised right now. We have enemies domestic. We have that. The FBI has been running things on me since I first went to my school board meeting in 2017, my first school board meeting. I found out that the guys that invited me, these 2 6'3", 300-pound big, dudes, right? They were working for the FBI, and they invited me to my first school board meeting. And I was just watching something earlier about Garland putting parents that go to school board meetings on a domestic terrorist watch list.
So you were definitely on one.
Well, yeah. Excuse me.
What is that?
I had to charge my thing, and
your FBI monitor goes off right when he's talking about the FBI. How perfect is that? What? That's
what
run
it
low on
does.
battery?
Yeah, I mean, I forget sometimes, then I got to charge it, and then I forget it's on. So
Oh, that's too funny.
that's my charger.
So they're listening.
I hope it stops talking. It's made a sound, but I think it's okay.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's not saying anything.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, here it goes. You hear it?
So for those who are watching right now, that's the FBI monitor that they attached to his leg after J6.
January 6th, yeah.
That you've been wearing for almost 4 years now.
Almost 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah. Battery charged.
Yeah. So, yeah. I love when he comes to the restaurant Basilico's, and I go back in the office and I see it charging in the back.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So
It is a badge of honor, though.
So you have the Justice Department today. They have their own watchdog group, which is convenient, right? The Fox Guard and Hen House, and they said they found that there were no undercover FBI employees at the U.S. Capitol during January 6th. Don't you feel so much better now?
Do you believe
They're
that?
lying. They're lying. And here's the thing. We got to stand on this hill because one person, they're not in a position to speak from authority.
Yeah.
It's just they haven't found it, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've got no reports of it. Well, guess what? Maybe those reports exist and you didn't get to see them. Just like, in my case with the brass knuckles guy, they've got no reports that he had brass knuckles. Well, maybe because every time I tried to give you a report of the guy with brass knuckles attacking women and me, you refused to take the report. So, there's none so blind as he who will not see. If they refuse to see these reports, these internal memos, or ask the right people, what we got is secret police. And that's not who we are. And I'll say that. You got all these conservatives. We accept gays in our military, discrimination. That is not who we are. No. Secret police, that is not who we are.
Yeah.
Using the Patriot Act on patriots, that is not who we are. And I feel that personally because they've been pulling. I got an index, Tony. Everything you see in the news about all these stupid things they do, they've done them all to me. School board meeting, COINTELPRO, sending people to try and discourage me from activism, sending people to try and blow up our events and make them bad, make them optically bad for the media, sending in people to do bad media reviews on us, on our activism, whatever you name it. Like I can't even remember it all now, but it's just been a nonstop for the last 8 years. And of course, the government has turned on us, the citizens. They're not looking at enemies foreign or enemies domestic. They're looking at citizens. And that's not the way Roman rules operates. That's not the way a patriot operates. That's not the way God operates, most importantly. That's not operating in truth. These fucking liars in this fucking federal government, they need to fucking start to be worrying about what's coming. Because we need to start pushing harder for accountability.
Well, they would worry about what's coming if they knew that guys like us, or the three of us, were behind what was coming.
Yeah.
But they even probably don't fear what's coming because they've seen it before. They've seen that once they get in, they all go soft. But the FBI is hedging what they said because at the same time, so they don't get busted. At the same time, they are admitting that 26 confidential human sources or paid FBI informants were in Washington, D.C. at the time on that day, and none of whom were authorized to break the law themselves or encourage others to do so. So that's their way of walking it back a little bit, right?
Well, yeah. So they're admitting to 23, but
26.
Or 26,
Yeah.
but there's a lot more. So.
Well, I mean, there was a congressman that did an interview maybe a year ago, and he said he estimated about 200. He said that was a very conservative estimate, and I've been saying at your place for years now because this has literally been going on years.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's about I'll say what's 200. So there's 200 federal assets and operatives operating in that crowd. Don't let them steal the narrative of what January 6th was, because 200 people is what percent of a million? It's 0.02% of a million. There were 1 million people there, and don't fucking get set up to think it was a fucking setup. You got set up to think that 200 fucking people could dictate what 1 million people were about. And we were about being Americans, not being these fucking sneaky little bitch-ass fucking feds that are trying to pull fucking stupid shit to make everybody feel like they're a criminal. That's fucked up. That's a lie.
Well, yeah, I think you're right. Our job, I feel like when we started this show, this project that we're doing here, our sit downs, it was before the elections. And what we were doing then is we were trying to hold the Trump campaign and the people that supported him accountable so they would get him elected, right?
Yeah.
Stand by your promises, campaign hard, take a hard stand on issues, uncompromising. He gets elected. Now our fucking job is to hold him accountable, his feet to the fire, this fire here, to the fire.
Yeah.
Right?
That one.
Yeah, that one right fucking there.
Yeah.
That he follows through on his promises, and the people that he selects the right people, that he pushes the right policies, that he doesn't back down.
Yeah.
I got a better fire.
And,
This fire.
Yeah.
We'll hold his feet to this fire right here in my heart.
Yeah.
In your heart.
Yeah.
We're gonna hold in your heart, Doug.
Well,
in the
that's what we're
American
doing.
people's hearts, there's a fire burning, because you know what? If you ain't fucking pissed and burning with fucking anger about what we had to go through, then you aren't fucking alive. You're not alive.
But the fire that we have, you can say other people have fire too, but not like the fire that's in this room. The fire in our hearts between us is like that giant bonfire that they hold every year when Texas A&M plays the University of Texas. One year it was so big, they built it so high, like stories high of wood, that it collapsed and killed like 23 people.
Yeah.
Then they outlawed it for a while and it came back in. That's the kind of bonfire I'm talking about.
Well, you know
That's
what,
the kind
though?
of fire I'm talking about.
That's just the
Massive.
There's got to be an element of danger,
Yeah, absolutely.
an
there
element
is.
of risk.
Yeah, shouldn't have been outlawed.
Because if it's not a risk, then it's not worth
worthwhile.
doing. Yeah.
It's not worthwhile, man. Yeah, I always tell people, whether it's a plus or a minus or a blessing or a curse, for me, most people are risk adverse, and for me, I have this addiction to risk, meaning it's like I'm like a moth to fucking light when I see it, and it's got me in trouble many times, but I wouldn't change anything. It's just who I am. But yeah, when we talk about holding them to the fire, like we talk about the fighting standard all the time, I had heard that Pelosi, this is not even political related. I guess it can be, but so she, as you know, is beyond pro-abortion. She's all about killing babies, right?
Yeah.
So she's self-proclaimed Catholic, which is bullshit. And she's got a bishop in San Francisco that has warned her not to come to church and take communion because she supports abortion. In fact, she's responsible for a lot of them.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
For many of them. Well, she and their side, the way they fight, she taunts the bishop. Doesn't matter who the fuck it is. A bishop is not even off limits to them.
Yeah.
She taunts him and says, she goes to church and she says, I just received communion anyway. That's his problem. It's his problem. He needs to deal with it. And that's how they fucking fight. And I listened to, what he should do is next time she comes in and she kneels and she wants communion. I don't even know if they kneel in that church. That's the old way of doing it, right? You kneel, you don't take it in the hand, they put it in the mouth. That's the traditional way, right? Of course they went woke years ago, and now it's, you stand, you put your hand up, put it in your hand.
Yeah.
There's non-ordained people handing it to you. There's altar girls. It's ridiculous.
Upside down.
So, but next time she goes, this priest, he needs to get revenge the Roman rules way. And next time she goes and she kneels for the wafer, he needs to drop a pepper X in her mouth in the shape of a wafer. Pepper X, okay, just so you know, pepper X is the hottest pepper in the world. So drop in her mouth, say this is a message from God.
That sounds like a
and
message
maybe
from
she'll
the
learn
devil.
her lesson. She'll never forget what?
Seems like a message from the devil to me.
You know what?
Well, he's a servant of God too.
I know.
He does God's dirty work, and right now I think she's in his jurisdiction.
She deserves that. She deserves that.
But our side, I'll give you an example of our side now. Our side, you have Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? People think that she's hardcore, and in comparison to most, I guess she kind of is, right? But you have her now demanding Pam Bondi, who's going to be the Attorney General, demanding, and what I've heard too is Pam Bondi really isn't all that on board with the Second Amendment either. She's got her issues. That's a big fucking problem for me.
Yeah.
And we've talked about her in the past. But she says to her, she's asking her, you need to bring murder charges against the cop that murdered Ashli Babbitt.
Yeah.
Right? But then as she continues to talk about it, she says at the end, she trails off and she says, some sort of charges at least. No, you fucking stop there and you say, you bring charges or we're coming for you next.
Exactly.
That's how it fucking works.
Yeah.
And
did you read that article that Aaron sent?
Aaron Babbitt.
Aaron Babbitt messaged me today with a link to an article about his wife, his wife's murderer. You saw it.
Yeah, it was like an expose, I guess is the word on this guy, Bird or whatever his name is. He was a bad cop going back to like 2021, I think, or even before that. No, 2001, I think, is when he was, he's had some problems.
Well, that's that
abandoning
DEI.
his post, lying about it. So he should have been fired a long time ago. He should never, ever have been there that day, January 6th.
Well, if they could prosecute him quick, what a great day. What a great celebration.
Yeah.
It would be on an inauguration day to hang him on the Capitol steps.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Hang him.
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit that will send a message.
Yeah.
I mean,
agree.
that would be a sight to see.
Right?
I would think so.
I know Aaron would enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I'd be standing there with him, smiling.
I think that fire in me would maybe feel just a little quenched.
Pete Hegseth, too. He's another one that's going soft.
Yeah.
So he wrote a book called, I think it was War on Warriors.
Yeah.
I think it was called. And he spoke hard against, Don't Ask, Don't Tell. You know what that is, right, Kim? You might want to explain.
It was Bill Clinton's policy back in the day when he was president.
How did it work exactly? Do you know?
I think they were just looking the other way.
Before that, so I had a friend that was stationed in Kaiserslautern, K-Town, outside of Frankfurt, Germany.
Okay.
And I remember going to visit him on my way to Italy, and this was in the 90s. And I remember seeing, we went to the video store,
Okay.
and there was a porn section. And I look over there in the porn section, and I see bisexual porn, 2 guys and a girl. And I go, hey, Travis, they got gay porn here too. He's like, I know. He's like, they put that there as a trap to see what GIs will rent it so they can know. Because they were actually actively trying back then to figure out who was a gay GI because they didn't want them in the military. They didn't want gays in the military.
Yeah.
And so they would look for them. But then I guess with the don't ask, don't tell was like, okay, we're not going to ask you about it, and you don't tell us about it. And it's like, no problem. It's as if it's no big deal. We're just going to let it go. So that was a shift, a pivot, right? And then it pivoted even more to like what? Like where we are today right now is, you have special status if you're like a drag military guy.
You'll even get a surgery if you want it.
Get the surgery for free.
Yeah. So,
I mean,
so in his book, he said that it's what's called a breach in the wire. That's what he called it, a breach in the wire that opened the door for broader cultural and ideological changes in the military. He said it would erode standards. He said it would erode standards in favor of political goals for social engineering. But now when he's asked about it, instead of just owning that's the whole thing, man. If you're going to say something, fucking own it. How are people supposed to believe in you and follow you into any of these fights or battles or wars if you go back on what you said? If you said it, it means you meant it, hopefully. If you didn't, then instead tell us. Don't say it didn't happen, you didn't say it. Tell us you didn't mean it. Tell us it wasn't really in your fucking heart. Because if it was, you should be owning it.
Do you think he's kind of backpedaling a little bit so he can get himself confirmed, and then he'll be kind of back to his,
He said, I don't oppose a repeal of that. And he said he doesn't. And he said that he's calling it fake news or whatever. But when you say that, though, that's eroding is the standard for fighting. It's like, if you're going to keep backing down and hiding what you said just to take a step forward, you're going to fucking lose, because they're going to keep pushing you back and pushing you back and pushing you back. Where you're too far back, you can't make it back again.
It's a sign of weakness.
Sign of weakness, yeah. You're projecting weakness instead of owning it.
Yeah.
Go into battle, beat your fucking chest, and say, "Damn straight, I said it." What are you going to do about it?
So there's a Latin saying "Deus vult," and
I know it. Yep.
I wore a Deus vult shirt on January 6th.
I love it.
Right.
Yep.
And I think as we march toward the Capitol with chanting "Christ is King," I personally feel like they were targeting me when they started talking about Christian nationalism, because they started talking about it right after that. But Deus Vult means God wills it. And this what's his name? Hegseth. He's got a Deus Vult tattoo.
Does he?
He's got
I
Deus
bet he
Vult.
does.
Which made me think it's kind of edgy and all. He's not Catholic, but he's like, he's trying to be edgy. But I just think it's another case of stolen valor, Tony. Stolen valor. If this guy is going to go soft, I mean, it stinks. He's going to go soft on the trans stuff. That, no pun intended, but it does stink. Like that's bullshit. And the things they want to do with these, they're not even deployable, because they got to dilate their little wound every day.
They're deplorable.
They're deplorable, but they're not deployable.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be out there in the field, and they're going to have to take something and stick it in their wound and open it up every single day so it doesn't seal shut.
Yeah.
How are you going to put that person out in the military, out in the field, like in a battlefield with that kind of like restriction on their abilities? Like they got
and not only that, but the enemy's laughing at you.
Yeah.
It's just laughing at you. What the?
Well, I thought from the beginning, when I first heard that he was going to be up for defense secretary, I thought he was always going to have trouble with the politics part of it. You know,
Who gives a fuck though?
well, I mean, it's coming back at him now. So
Who fucking cares? Just steamroll through it, and you'll get through it.
We should be doing.
You know, I was thinking about the Mayor Adams guy, right?
Yeah.
The mayor of New York. Remember, he was in so much trouble.
He's still
How
in
many
trouble.
people asked him to step down? He said, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
And now look, they don't even talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
They don't even talk about that case anymore.
Yeah.
Why? Because he ignored it. And he's like, "Go fuck yourself. I'm staying right here. I'm not going anywhere."
Yeah.
You know, it's the weak that just try to talk you into taking a knee. And believe me, I want to see him fucking gone.
Yeah.
Right. But
You respect that he.
but I respect that
He
he's
stood
like,
his ground.
yeah. He showed a masculine side. That
I mean,
says, no.
Tony, these last 3 years, how many times have they tried to wear me down,
Oh yeah.
talk me into taking a deal,
Oh my
giving up,
God.
and-
Nonstop.
and having you
In the hallways. We watch it in the hallways.
Yeah.
You know, there's a proverb: a cord of two or more is not easily broken, right?
Yeah.
Like having Doug there. You know, you've gone to 30 different hearings for me.
Yeah.
Here at the local,
Yeah, I'm proud to do it.
and it makes me feel more encouraged to just take a stand, because I mean, that's what we got to do. We got to encourage one another. And America, you need to be encouraged to take a stand. And people like this Hegseth or whatever, I don't even want to remember his name, because these people are fly by night.
That's all they are.
You know,
That's exactly right. He's going to be a politician soon. And you're right. You surround yourself with people who empower you in that way, who make you stronger. And the first guy that speaks up and says, "Kim, take a deal," cast him out.
Yeah.
Exile
you've
him.
seen me do it.
I've seen you do it.
What did I threaten that
I've
one
seen-
guy with?
There's a number of guys.
I said, "Don't you
Say-
ever fucking say that to me again."
This guy's the Bulldog. If you do not want your head bitten off, do not tell him to get a lawyer
Or take a
take
deal.
a
Or
deal.
take a deal. Yeah.
or your head will be bitten clean off. Like, trust me.
Well, you're not only are you fucking weak, but you're stupid. You're
Yeah.
gonna tell me how to fucking do it?
Yeah.
You know shit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this Heggs wasn't he like he was like a media personality, right?
He's on.
Yeah, he was on Fox, right?
Yeah, weekend host on Fox for 10 years.
So here's the thing: if everybody held the standard,
Yeah.
you always talk about the
It'd
standard,
be over.
they would have nobody else to turn to.
Yeah.
But it's like he's probably thinking, oh, if I don't, go soft on this, then they're just gonna pick somebody that will. What if nobody went soft? What if the first fucking person who went soft got fucking booted out?
Yeah. And a good example of that is that Joni Ernst, senator from Iowa.
Iowa, I
Iowa.
believe, yeah.
So she was trying to be the new John McCain type maverick, like he used to try to call himself.
Yeah.
She called herself a maverick.
No, but
But
you
she was
see,
in
she
that
wants that
mold.
attention. Yeah, she wants that attention. I'm the holdout. Kiss my ass.
Yeah.
And now they're saying, oh, well, now she's bending the knee to MAGA. Well, the only reason why she's bending the knee and getting on board is because now there's no one left there that she can run. There's no
cover
safe
for her.
harbor for her to run to now, right? The open arms of a John McCain type to say it's okay. We're mavericks. We'll be wanted by the right and we'll be loved by the left,
Yeah.
right? Because we're kind of in the middle. We're not going to just buy into everything Trump wants to do. So she tried that
Didn't work.
and she
Didn't
felt
work
the
out.
rage. Yeah, she felt it.
Well, she
And
saw-
she backed
Less
down
than a
quickly.
week.
What happened to
But that's
Liz
what
Cheney?
you're talking about.
What happened to Liz Cheney?
Oh, my God.
I don't know. She's gone.
They
I
got
don't
rid
hear
of
about
her.
it. Yeah, she's gone.
Right? And
Yeah.
nobody wants that shit.
Nobody wants it.
And you know what? They didn't get rid of her good enough. Like, was there talk about her facing charges or execution? Who was talking?
Somebody mentioned she laughed in the face of it because she knows no one's going to fucking do it until somebody does it.
Somebody may do it.
That's the whole point. But I feel like they're starting to learn, but they're just learning too slow. It's
Yeah.
taking too fucking long. But I was feeling really good about this school that I heard about called Donham de Classical Academy. I like this school because they're opening locations. I always talk about invading enemy territory. They're doing it in San Francisco, and they're basically private Christian schools that's only about tradition, faith, conservative values, no woke shit anywhere, and there's these so-called right-wing private venture capitalists that are pouring money into it. And those guys, that's what needs to be fucking
Yeah.
done. Guys that are putting their money where their mouth is, not just talking. And if we had more people like that would back frontline fighters, like the things that we've been through, things that Kim is doing,
Yeah.
you know, the fights that we've all waged. Again, like you said, they would have no shot. We would fucking roll over everybody.
That's right.
You know what they would do, Tony? Like, so if they had a school like that around here,
Yep.
or anywhere,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Just like the left would bring in like the transgender storyteller,
Yeah.
you know, for the little kids to read a, you know, transgender story hour or whatever they're doing. Like, this school would bring in you. They'd bring in Tony Roman
Tell the story.
to tell a story about how you stood up.
Yep.
Right? It's like a
So
masculine
stayed
man
with it.
version of I think I can,
Yeah.
you know, for the little kids, but it's
Yeah.
like something, you know, I'm sure by 3rd, 4th grade, they can relate to you. They can relate to your story,
Yep.
you know, and you tell them. And it is a Christian principle because it says in the Bible by Jesus, enter through the narrow gate, for broad is the way of destruction, and many go that way, right? And so all of fucking OC was locked down, broad swath of OC, locked down, right? But where was the narrow door that like people were entering?
Yep.
It was Basilico'S.
Yep.
It's the only
right?
place.
You walk there, you walk the parking lot. This was the only place happening in town, and this is where people were living.
Yep.
They weren't dying, they weren't shriveling up,
Yep.
they weren't sniveling in their dark little houses, not even able to look themselves in the mirror. They were at your place, we were at your place.
Yeah.
We were living life, we were being real because of what you did. And you have a story. They should have people like you going to schools like that and talking to the kids. That's who they should have.
Well, I appreciate that, but also at the same time, I know all the people that have been true to the standard that we set back then, because I still see them on a regular basis. But do you know how many people that came in there? I would say 80% of the people that came in there, maybe even 90%, that talked a big game about how they stood with us against all the woke shit, the woke tyranny that was going on, all the lockdown tyranny was going on, all the restaurants and businesses that bowed down and followed along with the mandates. They all went back to those places. They all have disappeared. When things got comfortable again, they shed their so-called principles, right, and their values, their beliefs, their pledges, whatever it was. Those things don't mean anything.
Yeah.
And many of them I've never seen again.
They just came to your place because it was the only place open.
Yeah, but they talked a big fucking game.
Yeah.
They said how important it was to them. You know, that they stood with us. They had the same beliefs. Yeah, but you know what? I know the ones. All that matters to me is the one thing that I learned through the whole all those battles. I know who my true brothers in arms are.
Yeah.
And sisters in arms too, because I can tell you, I saw. It was surprising to me. It shouldn't have been, because I saw how strong my mother was, but I saw how many strong women there were compared to men. The men they were sitting with at a table.
Yeah.
A woman that would stand up and had more passion for what was going on, was more pissed, and was actually doing shit, taking action, would tell me to my face, I'm online defending you. I'm online taking bullets for you. People are trying to out me, and they're calling the school where I work. They're
Nurses.
Nurses
yeah.
would come in, constantly, and the husband would sit down, and they would actually cower and look at me and go, yeah, she's more hardcore than me. She's the one that kind of runs things around here. You little bitch, So I saw a lot of that. But instead in schools now, they're teaching these fucking kids to want to be influencers and want to be rappers. Like this Jay-Z guy now that's going down he's going to go down the fucking drain next.
Yeah.
He's going down the woke drain next. And,
he better take a bunch with him too. I
want to see all that woke shit gone.
What's he going down for?
That fucking guy was, when the NFL went fucking woke too, they brought him on to be the producer of the halftime show. They pay him like $25 million a year. And every fucking halftime is a rapper. It's not a country music star. It's not a classic rock star. Like back in the day, they used to have U2. They had Prince. They had big country stars. they had Madonna, they had the classic rock, people that fucking mattered. Now, in the music world, and now and they're all fucked up too, but they bring these gangsters in now, these gangster rappers in now. Yeah. Every fucking halftime show, they have that black national anthem that they fucking play. And they whitewashed him too, because this guy was a drug dealer. People don't fucking know this. It was a drug dealer at age 13. He sold crack to people in his own community when he was young. He admitted to Oprah Winfrey that drug dealers were his role models growing up. And when he was 12, he shot his 16-year-old brother, and he stabbed a rival record producer. So this guy's a scumbag.
We're supposed to look up to him.
Yeah. And he's going down. And now, you know what? This whole thing that happened with what was it? Not the just Diddy thing, right? People are worried. People are worried. He's going down, and they're saying next might be fucking LeBron James.
Yeah.
And LeBron
Fuck
James.
that guy.
The statement came out 2 days ago from a bold UFC fighter, called him out and said something to the effect like, I bet LeBron James is really, really worried. And he said it because he didn't know anything, as far as I know. He may have, but he said that LeBron James, he knew, hung out with this guy. Diddy a lot.
P. Diddy.
And he said, he's having nightmares. Sure enough, today he disappeared from the fucking team, saying he's taking a personal leave. So he's probably trying to clean things up.
He's looking for a country he can find with no extradition.
He's luring up. They said he's never walked out on his team before. This is the first time. So
not only is he arrogant, but he's stupid. And the Bible says the wicked run when no one pursues them. And so it sounds like this guy just ratted his cage a little bit by just putting out a little test balloon, right?
Yeah,
a little trial balloon.
Yeah. And then what does he do? He reacts.
Yeah.
He reacts, and he starts to show his guilty conscience because it's coming, LeBron.
Yeah.
Well, but the weakling commissioner of the NFL, and people have asked him now, does this mean that Jay-Z's not going to be in control of the halftime show? Are you going to disconnect from him now? You're going to walk away? Oh, no. Nothing's changed. Of course not, you little bitch. And then I think to myself, how many coaches, how many team owners, how many players that walk around with their Trump shirts now, they feel a little bold finally, or they do the Trump dance. How many of them are going to speak out and say, we're going to boycott games if you don't cut this guy? We don't want him associated with us.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
The day of calling them racist for that is probably ending, right? You get rid of a black rapper from your lineup. Back in the day they'd say that's racist, right? Or if you tangle with the Penny case, you tangle with a black criminal, that's racist, right? They want to create this stupid fucking Achilles heel in all of fucking America so that we can't fucking do shit because they're going to fucking call us a name, right? Fuck them. Fuck their names. Fucking, it's time to fucking do real shit and stop being fucking scared bitches.
Yeah.
Right? Like Penny, he beat the fucking charge.
He beat the charge.
And that's sending a message to America.
Well, obviously he shouldn't have been charged at all, but
never.
You also wonder if maybe he beat the charge too, which is a good thing. If they see Trump's coming anyway, Trump would probably put him at the top of the list, I would think.
He can't pardon him.
He couldn't pardon him? Well, it was state case, right?
State case, he couldn't pardon him. But what he could do is come out with a vengeance. He could have his DOJ go after that fucking prosecutor's office and get them for malicious prosecution, get them for fucking violating civil rights.
Well, they're already talking about doing that.
They should do that.
Yeah.
And Spitzer, you're next.
Absolutely.
Todd Spitzer. You know what? One of these days, maybe we ought to have him on the show in one way or another.
I wonder if any of these people, I wonder if any of these people saw what happened in New York. How easy it is to get to somebody if you want to get to somebody. Like if you want somebody gone, they can be gone.
Yeah.
It's very easy. If you want it to happen, it will fucking happen. Like in the movie, I think it's Godfather 1.
Yeah.
When they approach Tom Hagen, the consigliere, he comes out,
Yeah.
and the mobsters stop him on the street. I think it's Salazzo stops him on the street, and he says, I need to talk to you. And then Tom says, sorry, Thomas. Thomas says, no, I got to go. No, you're not going anywhere. And then another guy steps up and he looks, and he goes, he has like a nervous looking reaction.
Yeah.
And he goes, don't be scared. If I wanted you to be dead, you'd be dead already.
Yeah.
Like you'd be dead already. Like that's how easy it is, you know. And
It's the American way.
people need to understand that. And now, especially now with all these copycats that are gonna come out.
Yeah.
There's, you know, and I worry about Trump because of it, because people saw how easy it really is. It's not hard.
Well,
You know?
it's got to be hard for Trump now because can he really depend on Secret Service right now?
No, it's still transition time. Yeah,
Yeah.
he hasn't cleaned it out yet.
Well, that's why he's on Mar-a-Lago. That's
And
why
all the women got to go first.
He's
That's
held
the
up.
first thing has to
Get rid of
happen.
those women that want
All of them.
hide
I
behind.
don't care how fit they are, strong they are. They all got to go.
Well, I mean, doesn't he? They don't care how fit they are either. They fucking on national TV. You had a fucking woman Secret Service agent hiding behind Trump.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like that bitch should fucking go to fucking federal prison for what she did.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah.
That is fucking. That's inexcusable.
Yeah.
But what do you expect? You put a fucking fat woman in a fucking suit,
But-
and if you think she's gonna be what? She's gonna be a big security person?
Yeah, but when I see that how easy it happened in New York, broad daylight.
Oh yeah.
No, it was dark.
Well, it was
All right. Early
was,
morning, whatever.
5
early
a.m. or
morning
something.
out. No, it was 7
5:30.
a.m. It was around 7.
I think it was
And people on
5:30.
the street, you saw cars everywhere.
Yeah.
People were out.
Yeah,
And
but it's still twilight. It's still not.
It was
sun's
5:30.
on it.
not only did he get him on the street, but he got him. He knew exactly what door he was. I mean, he knew everything about him. Like
Yeah.
he probably went online and just researched it. That's not telling you. It's not hard.
Well,
So-
that whole thing is kind of weird, Tony. The whole operation. I don't know.
No, I understand. I think, you know, I think I mentioned this to you guys, where a profiler before he was even caught said he looks like from the pictures, he looks like a pretty handsome guy, and he looks like he's probably Italian, and
That was you.
Kind of knew
And
who
I
he
thought-
was.
and I thought, man, no, it was on the news.
Oh, I
And-
thought you
and-
said-
Beforehand, yeah.
and I thought to myself, you know, they're already stereotyping us as fucking hitmen,
Yeah.
Italians, right?
They say
Yeah.
he looked like he's a handsome guy.
Yeah.
He looks like he's Italian.
Exactly.
Like, why do you guys say it twice?
Exactly. Yeah. That's so funny. But that's good. But
So hopefully nobody's going to show up at the restaurant looking for help.
yeah, exactly. But at least be man enough to shoot the guy in the
Yeah.
face. Like look at him in the face and shoot him. But then the thing that was disappointing for me, well, the whole thing is insane. But when you think about how it all happened, but what I found kind of comical was the guy talks about health. Health was the most important thing to him.
Yeah.
Health. And they catch him fucking at a McDonald's eating a hash brown. It's like, come on, man. Like, you know,
Are you
if you're
saying
gonna go
that's
out-
not healthy?
If you're gonna go out, do it right. But yeah. So
McDonald's hash browns aren't healthy? Shit.
yeah, and he was anti-capitalist
Yes.
supposedly, and he also was a big follower of Michael Moore. Come on, man. What are you fucking doing?
Yeah.
Italians don't follow Michael Moore.
No.
You know.
Well, I also heard that he was listening to like Taylor Swift and Britney Spears. So
Well, that
Who?
would do it.
Was he really?
yeah, like that's
Wait, Taylor Swift and who?
and Britney Spears.
I
So
didn't hear that.
we may have a little bit of fanook going on right here. You know, there may be a little bit of
There were some things going on with him for sure.
He could use that in his trial as a defense that he was, listening to.
Listen,
Britney
I
Spears.
understand when you're angry with somebody. I understand those feelings. Trust
know.
me, I understand them.
Okay, but he wasn't personally. He didn't have any kind of personal
No, I know.
contact with this guy. So
Yeah, but I mean, whatever you're feeling, you're feeling.
you know, I play along
whatever you're
with
feeling, you're feeling.
the main the narrative, the mainstream storyline. But to be honest, there's something funny going on there, and I'm not gonna get too wrapped up invested in this
No, I'm not
little
either.
story because there's more than meets the eye. You know,
Oh,
there's
for sure.
there's something else.
There's a lot
going
of
on.
players in this, I think.
Yeah.
You know, and like
A lot of motives.
right away, I saw like there were things like where they showed
Mix of motives.
like different jackets, like one with pockets in the front, and then different backpack, different colors. So there's funny stuff going on just for laughs and everything. The memes are good.
I know you like memes.
There's a lot of Sopranos memes talking about we got a rat problem at McDonald's.
Oh, okay.
Because he got snitched off at McDonald's.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was the Sopranos boys talking about that.
Yeah.
These memes are good. They can play along. It's all fun and games, but I think there's a deeper thing going on there that I really am not going to get too bought into that whole situation.
The whole thing is bizarre. The whole story is odd. There's more to it than we know.
Yeah, but the main thing is, like, I understand. Sometimes, man, you feel like things got to be dealt with in a harsh fucking way.
Yeah.
And whether you agree with it or not, I mean, sometimes you have to say, the guy owned it. The guy just said, you know what? I'm gonna do what I gotta fucking do.
Well, that's the American way, Tony.
I mean,
what did the founding fathers said?
Do what you
the
gotta
tree
do,
of
man.
liberty must be watered from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants.
That's right.
And that factor, that unknown factor, people may not fear God. The elites, they may not fear God. I think they don't even believe in him. But they do fear the lone gunman. They do fear the assassins both. They do fear they fear the lynch mob.
Fuck yeah,
they fear all that shit because they know that they could be held accountable. And I think Biden was talking about we got F-16s. You really gonna try to stand up against the federal
with your
government?
guns, yeah.
With your guns, we got F-16s.
We have F-16, yeah.
Yeah, but I heard a commentator say, but the pilots of those F-16s, they got families.
Yep.
And those families are findable.
Yeah.
So if the federal government's going to fucking wage war on the American people, how hard is it to find their families like they tried to find these Patriots families out in...
Well, you're exactly right. It's exactly right.
It's a balance of power.
There has to be fear. You can't just keep fucking running over people and think you're going to get away with it. Somebody eventually is going to have the balls to stand up and take the fall on behalf of everybody, because it means, right or wrong, it means that much to him or her.
Yeah.
Usually him, right? It means that much to him that he doesn't give a fuck. I'm going to lay it all on the line for the cause. And you can agree with him or not, but he fucking did it. He fucking did it. He had balls to do it.
That's the story.
Right?
I just have a problem with the victim in the case. I mean, what did this guy...
Well, we don't know. We're never going to know.
Yeah.
We're never going to know.
Right? I mean, like, I don't know. Yeah, like he's a CEO.
His only fault, he was the CEO of one of these big health insurance companies.
Well, there's no innocent victim. Here's the thing. He was pushing that fucking DEI shit. And he's just a cog or whatever in a big machine.
Yeah.
But there's no innocent victims. You are if you're part of a fucking wicked system, you may be the fall guy too.
Yeah, I felt terrible for his family. Yeah. I felt terrible for his kids. I felt terrible for him too. His life is over. Yeah, it's terrible. That's why I said, at least if you're gonna do it.
Well, he didn't even have a chance to defend himself.
Exactly.
In any way.
At least if you're gonna fucking do that, don't be a bitch and shoot him in the back.
Yeah.
Like, at least face him. At least do that. That's the first thing that bothered me from the outset. Like, how does somebody have such a spaghetti spine where they're gonna shoot you? They're gonna shoot you in the back.
Yeah.
You don't even see it coming. So, but I was thinking about, we talked about last time about Homan, because we like Homan a lot.
Yeah.
Tom Homan. I don't know, man. I'm getting concerned because when I hear about Mayor Adams of New York, glowing about his meeting he had with him today. I think it was today, right? Did he meet with him today? About being a sanctuary city and about partnering with them, and he's saying
continuing to be a sanctuary city, or
New York
backing off of that shit.
He's maybe backing off, but what does that really mean? All that means, a sanctuary city now used to mean a sanctuary city for all illegals, right? But now they're scaling that back, where it just means we won't protect criminal aliens. Well, they all are, right? Because they all
Yeah.
crossed illegally, so they all are. But they're talking. What he's saying, what he said today was, what Mayor Adams said today was, he sounds like a fucking thug. Have you ever heard him talk?
Yeah,
This is
he's
fucking
bad.
ridiculous. He's got the earring, talks like a thug. But he was saying today that had a good meeting with him. Yes, we're going to go after all of the repeat criminals. Wait, so you're not even going to go after criminals anymore? Now they have to commit crimes twice, at least twice.
They have to commit two
Are you fucking
two
kidding
armed
me?
robberies.
2 fucking rapes, yeah. 2 fucking rapes, right? And the press asked him to clarify what he meant. Are you on the same page with him? And he said, "It sounds like it. Yes, we're on this. We're on."
Homan
the same
said
page.
that.
Adams
the mayor
said
did.
that.
The
Yeah,
mayor
what you
did.
say, Doug?
Yeah, well, Adams is the one that's changing his position. Holman is pretty firm. He hasn't really changed his position at
But
all.
he has. He's not saying anymore. If you listen to him talk, it keeps saying over and over again that we're going to go after the high priority illegal aliens.
Right.
What does that mean?
Well, but yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then
That's
he also
because
said,
the
But he hasn't
Overton
changed
window.
that. He's been saying that from the beginning.
The
And then
Overton
the
window
Overton window's
got
changing.
moved because
We should talk about the Overton window every time we sit
I
here.
remember, Tony, when we were doing that fucking SB 54 Sanctuary City protest, because SB 54 made all these cities in California a sanctuary state, right?
Yep.
So all these cities in OC were trying to stand against it. This was 2018. And we would go to the city councils one after another and talk crap and talk shit about how this is wrong, how this is bad, right? And then every once in a while we get these normie, like, conservative people that go, oh, we just want to arrest illegal alien criminals.
Yeah.
But, you know, they would try and reframe it.
Yeah.
And I remember this one woman that she would do that, and she'd be giving me dirty looks in the stink eye because I'd be saying, no, every single one of them that came to this country violated our rights. They're taking from us. We had to spend money to try and secure our border and to deal with them coming here, and they've taken from us. And I remember her giving me a dirty look. And I even talked about how, back then I was talking about how like a high percentage of the people coming across the border, the women were getting sexually assaulted. And I remember her giving me the stink eye. Well, I just learned that she passed away.
Wow.
And she wasn't that old. And so I'm almost wondering, you know, if she's one of these moderate,
Yeah.
you know, maybe she took the fucking jab. Maybe she took the fucking jab because
Yeah.
she was probably like in her late 40s, early 50s. And
Well,
she looked healthy.
Well, read between the lines what he's saying. Read the signs. Here's what he said. This is a quote. He was threatening, these mayors in these sanctuary cities who were saying, we're going to take a stand against you, right?
Yeah.
Now, here's what he said. Instead of him saying, when we come in there to arrest everybody, to arrest every illegal alien, we're arresting you too.
Yeah.
He didn't say that. Here's what he said. Here's what's going to happen. You release that guy in the community, meaning the one that's behind bars, that they're holding, they won't turn on ice. Here's what's going to happen. You release that guy in the community. I'm going to send an entire team to go look for that guy in your community. And what's going to happen? We'll find that guy.
And others.
And when we find... You're so smart, fucking Kim. And when we find that guy, there's probably going to be others that are not a priority.
Huh.
However, if they're in the country illegally, they'll be arrested too, because we're not going to tell an immigration officer, like this Biden administration did, that you're going to turn your back on an illegal immigrant. When you're an immigration officer, you have an oath to uphold. So you are forcing us. So by you staying against us, you are now forcing us into a community in communities with large numbers where other non-priority aliens will be arrested. So basically what he's already tipping them off, saying, we don't want to arrest them. But if you take a stand against us, you're going to put us in a position where we might have to. It's like, no, man, you're
Tony,
doing it all wrong.
You know what? You're not giving enough credit because you think
I know exactly what I'm
because he's
saying.
Homan and not Roman. You know what he's doing?
Well, that's the problem.
He's acting like a Roman. He's actually making him an offer he can't refuse. Because he's telling him, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Either way, we're going to get what we want.
I'm
You're
not
either
saying it that
going
way.
to cooperate with us and you turn him over, or...
No, but you're not listening. What he's saying is you better turn over the criminal aliens, meaning in your jails, that you're not letting us take out.
Well,
Because if you don't, we're going to go looking for him when
Yeah.
you release
In the
him,
neighborhoods.
and we're going to scoop up others. So he's already admitting if you turn him over, we won't have to scoop up the others.
But there's-
We don't want to scoop up the others.
he's
We
just-
only want the criminal aliens.
He's acting like he's acting like he's having a sit down with him. But you know
have
what?
too much faith.
They're gonna go scooping.
You have.
We like Homan, don't we?
I don't know yet. I like
We
him.
do.
I like
Do you like the way he talks?
I like the way he talks. I like the way he looks. I like the heart he has. Seems sincere.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like any of these people that have ever taken on the immigration issue have the fortitude, have the balls to do what it takes. They all get frightened right when they get to the edge.
He doesn't sound scared. He sounds like he's killing this
We'll see.
Adams with kindness.
I hope you're right.
Sounds like he's killing with kindness.
I hope you're right.
He's letting him know it's your fault.
Don't
And that's
forget,
good.
Adams was all supporting all these illegal aliens
Yeah.
coming
So
to New
what's
York
that? Yeah,
City
exactly.
until he got the bill. When he
That's
got the
right.
bill, then now he's flipping around.
But it's not just the bill. It's because his own side, his own allies, his supposed allies on the left, are now prosecuting him. So what is he doing?
Yeah, they're going after
He's
him.
now running to the right, saying, "Save me, save me."
Yeah.
If I align myself with you, we're all gangsters
So
now.
that's
I want to be
point.
with the gangster side. What?
I think Homan has been pretty consistent from the beginning, and I understand what you're saying, but he's got a logistical problem. There's how many people does he have in his under his jurisdiction? He's going to be able to go in to these different cities and get these.
But
people.
I have said too that I don't like that Homan keeps talking about going and using all these American resources on tracking down these missing illegal alien kids.
Yeah.
When we have missing American kids that have gone missing for forever, and
he should
they don't
be
talk about
going-
spending
he
any.
should
And
be
now
looking for all the
after the
kids.
meeting, yeah, I know. But now after the meeting, suddenly Adams, what's his first name by the way? I don't even know his fucking first name.
Eric or something. I don't
Something like
know.
that. But he now happened to say there's 500,000 missing immigrant children. They need to be found. Where did that come from? Suddenly, after your meeting with him, you're talking about it too. But it's been jacked up from 300,000 to 500,000.
Yeah.
And there's probably hundreds of thousands, and maybe over the years have gone past, millions of missing American children from New York City alone. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I can't
So-
imagine that.
Yeah.
You know what? I used that tactic back in 2018, and it's like you want to point out to them their hypocrisy. What that does is that vilifies them. I know it's a concession because, who gives a fuck about illegals when we got Americans to worry about first? But you can take away their fucking high horse and make them fucking not feel like they have the fucking moral high ground. Like I did. I remember when Trump came to inspect the San Diego border, I was yelling at my megaphone, "You people don't want this wall because you support the women coming across that border, getting sexually assaulted, getting raped. You support sex trafficking. You're sick." And I was yelling that on my megaphone.
Love that.
And I saw the power in the demoralization it had on them, where they just got crestfallen. They stopped protesting. And then you know what? I started saying it at city council meetings. And then Trump quoted us and me specifically on that part. He talked about the 80%.
Yeah.
And then the media goes and fucking change. Oh no, it's not 80. It's actually just 30% of them are getting raped on the journey. Still not a good number.
That's okay.
But they changed the fucking numbers because that's their weakness. That's their Achilles heel. They want to be able to fool themselves into thinking, because they're narcissists, thinking that they're the fucking heroes. So when Homan pulls their covers and starts talking about how this fucking shit is linked to child sex trafficking and children missing, all that shit, it takes away their ability to fight with this feeling of fire in their hearts that they're right. They got retard fire. They don't got real fire because they're fucking not operating in truth. But you know what? It's a fucking psyop. It's a psychological operation. You got to fucking wear them down. Yeah. Fuck them. I'm gonna hope for the best with Homan. I didn't put any fucking stake in anybody else. I didn't put any stake in Eggs Hegseth or all these people, Vance or nobody. But Homan, I'm gonna try and hope and hold out.
Okay, well,
let's see. It's what do we got? How many? 5 weeks? 5 weeks to go? He says it's going to be the day after the inauguration. They're going full
Yeah?
force on
Okay.
it. So
Well, you know what?
That's January 21st.
First, I want to say that if someone needs to open the Megaphone Hall of Fame, and he needs to be the first inductee, because nobody has
Absolutely.
used a megaphone in a more impactful way in history than he has.
That's true.
And
Many ways.
the only thing that bums me out is that one megaphone that he used, that he got charged with for assault with a deadly megaphone in a state case. I'm just so bummed that he lost that megaphone. Like, you said they took it as evidence, right?
No,
Which one did they take as evidence? The one at J6?
they took megaphone number 2.
Which one was that one?
That was the one I got to replace megaphone number 1.
What happened to number 1?
Number 1 I left on the steps of the Capitol.
Fuck.
But that's the best place. You know what?
I know.
My old friend. I got my old friend in 2017, and then on January 6th, rip, rest in peace. It was broken. It was all messed up. It had dents in it. You know.
Oh man.
And you know what? It wasn't working.
That's an artifact.
The back fell off. The batteries fell out. Like, it was unrepairable. And I remember when I left the Capitol, I left it on the steps, and as I made my way through the tear gas, I peeked back at it one last time, and then I got my way out of there.
Damn.
I grabbed a guy that I found that I knew by the jacket, and I walked him through the crowd because he couldn't see.
I would love to have that fucking megaphone in the restaurant.
Yeah.
You know, we put it in like
The original?
a glass case. Either one.
There's the original, and then the second one got confiscated by the FBI.
Yeah, that one too.
And now I got the third one.
That one.
Well, I only had the second one for a little bit.
Yeah, the third one's good too.
Now, how'd the FBI get the second one? You weren't when they took.
It was
you
in my
down,
car.
Okay, that.
They ran up on me outside the courthouse in Central Justice Center, Santa Ana area.
Yeah.
And 2 blocks away, I was parked where you guys were. We park.
Okay.
And that's where they fucking they.
Well, you guys are putting a lot
Why
of-
did they get to your car though?
Well, because they took my keys. They took everything from me. They took my belt. They took my tie. Took my necklace. They took everything from me, and they had me in handcuffs. And then they walked me in my car, and then they started going through my car.
They searched. Okay.
They searched my car. They were taking pictures of things in my car, taking pictures of flyers, taking pictures.
So why was the megaphone a piece of evidence?
I don't know.
We thought maybe it had something hidden inside it.
Yeah.
No, because I had a megaphone on January 6th.
I mean, everyone knows when they think of a megaphone, they think you can't.
It's just they didn't have.
The funny thing is, he doesn't even need a fucking
you know what?
megaphone.
They probably still have that megaphone in evidence somewhere, and maybe you'll get it back.
Number 2 or number 1?
2.
Yeah, number 2. This is the one they officially took. Number 1.
Number 1
Hey,
is
hey, FBI! You found a broken megaphone at the steps of the Capitol. That's mine. Lost and found. I want it back. That's Old Faithful. Been a lot of years with me and that megaphone. It's got a dent in it.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of scuffed up some people.
Can you identify it with the dents?
Every bulldog needs a bullhorn.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny?
Is it a megaphone or a
You know what? That's right. Maybe the
Megaphone.
Yeah.
renamed it from megaphone to bullhorn.
I know.
Because I'm the bulldog.
Yeah, I remember that. You know what's funny though is that people are afraid of him sometimes when he speaks because he speaks loud and they think he's yelling, but he's not. He's just Italian.
He's just
That's his way of
Italian,
talking.
yeah.
But the crazy thing is, so he doesn't even really need a megaphone.
Yeah.
We always hear him, right?
That's true.
But when
hear
you
him from across
yell,
the street. You hear him
they call
across
the
street.
cops. But if you fucking talking to a
That's true.
megaphone,
That's a good
they
point.
can't do shit.
That's a good
Yeah.
point. But you guys, I think, are putting too much faith into these politicians, even the ones that are with Trump right now. You heard HHS. Is it HHS?
Yes.
HHS.
That's right. They put out I think a post the other day that said they wanted to wish people in America a happy pansexual and
What's-
pan-romantic Pride Day. Did you hear about that?
I
No.
haven't heard
Okay,
about that, but
so-
it doesn't
I don't
surprise
fucking
me.
listen to the government.
Okay. So that
Okay, but-
happened, right? What?
This is the Biden administration HHS.
Fine. Yeah, fine.
He's gonna make that clear.
But at the same time, you had that trans at the Capitol who was making this big fuss about using
the ladies room.
the ladies' bathroom.
Yeah.
Remember that, right?
Yeah.
In
Martin-
Congress, they
yeah.
tried to pass. Yeah.
Who was it? Who was
Woman
it?
named
that was-
Nancy Mace.
Nancy
right?
Mace.
I've
was
never
standing
heard of
up
her
against
before, but she's the one
Yeah.
that I guess drafted a resolution to ban.
Yeah.
Right? You had to okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So, so she took a hard stand. She took a lot of incoming fire. She stood up to it all. She did a good job. I was proud
Yeah.
of her. I still don't really know who she is, but I'm proud of her. So they asked Trump. They did an interview with him. I forget which magazine it was. They just did an interview with him. I think it was today actually. I think it was today. I can't remember, but just recently, very, very recently, well, they asked him if he agrees with this incoming congressperson who's a trans, is a guy, calls himself Sarah, fucking dumbass.
And it has that wound, right?
What?
Has that wound?
He has that weird wound.
And it stinks.
It stinks.
And pun intended.
He's set to become the first transgender member of Congress, right? So they asked Trump, do you agree with this trans congressperson, right, man, that lawmakers instead should focus more on important issues compared to bathrooms and transgender people and who gets to use them? Trump could have easily took the stand right then and goes, yeah, I'm against it. And I've told you that for a very
Your
long
God-given
time.
Identity is a fundamental issue of the most importance.
And
you can't even fucking name what a man or a woman is, and you fucking don't know shit.
He had a chance.
He couldn't. He couldn't. You know what he said? He said, "I agree. I agree." Means he agreed with the tranny, and he said, "Yeah, I agree with that absolutely. There's bigger, more important issues to pay attention to. This is not important. It doesn't affect enough people." That fucking enrages me because it's the little things.
It always is little things.
It's the little fucking things. And you mentioned
Rudy Giuliani proved this point when he became mayor in New York City. Before he was mayor, New York City was terrible. Couldn't go into Times Square. It was crazy. You drive anywhere you drive. If you stopped at a light in the city, those people come up and they wash your windows. You get rid of all that stuff.
All of it.
Broken windows got fixed right away. Graffiti got taken out right away. All the little things got taken right away. It turned the whole city around. When he was done, Times Square was Disneyland.
Because he was taking the small time criminals off the street that would eventually commit
the
big
little
time
ones
crimes.
Become bigger.
That's right.
Change the tone.
Exactly.
And he did it pretty fast.
Yeah, it didn't take long.
I mean, it was a cesspool. I remember I was pretty young when I went there.
Terrible.
In probably the 80s.
They call that a vibe check because you know what, the vibe of that place was just off. And you know what? Here's the thing: maybe we could tackle these big policies, these big issues, if men had the fucking balls. And if this fucking guy doesn't have the fucking balls anymore,
well, here's the problem.
That's the problem.
If you're going hard when you're campaigning, then you get elected. Why aren't you going harder? What? Right?
All right.
Like you would think you wouldn't go as hard when you're campaigning. Right, and then go hard when you're elected. He's doing the reverse. He was also asked. They followed up and asked him about his promise on the campaign. He made a hardcore promise. Hardcore is all relative, right? For him, it's hardcore. He said he promised he would roll back the Biden administration's Title IX protections for LGBTQ students if he was reelected. Then he's asked again about it. Are you still promising to roll those back? And he said, well, we're going to take a look at it. The fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
You promised.
Yeah.
You fucking... So if you're not going hard on those issues, those are the easy ones, I think.
Yeah.
These are the easy issues.
Yeah.
If you're not going hard on those, which other ones are you going to back off from?
J6?
That's fucking... Yeah, it's worrisome, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? We got this fucking soap opera going on, roller coaster ride. That's why I don't even want to pay attention. Because you know what? Nobody can do anything yet. So... it's like all talk. Until that fucking day comes, we don't even know if that day will come. We could be at a fucking nuclear war between now and Inauguration Day. I don't know. Anything could happen. Yeah. But the thing is nobody can do anything yet. Just talk. And then create a firestorm, a buzz or anything. I just want to wait and see. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to wait and see what happens and hope for the best.
It seems like the only person he went hard on was Don Jr.'s fiance, the one that he just dumped.
Oh, Gargoyle?
Gargoyle. He fucking dumps her.
What's her name?
Kimberly Guilfoyle.
Gargoyle. Kimberly Gargoyle.
First of all.
And they were engaged to be married.
She looks like a gargoyle.
Yeah, engaged. And he was dating somebody while they were engaged. But what is sickening to me, and what makes me wonder what goes on in that family of his, Trump's, is why the fuck would you let your son have Gavin Pelosi's leftovers?
Yeah.
She was married to him. And that is like a sick thought.
It is.
Like you took that on? You were gonna marry her?
Yeah.
You were dating her? You were sleeping with her? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
So if I was Trump, I would have told him, look, you're not even allowed around the family with her. Like, if you're going to be with her, we're kicking you out.
The standard.
I'm gonna disown your ass.
standard.
You're not going to embarrass me as Trump, trying to carry the conservative banner, and you're out dating Gavin Pelosi's fucking leftovers.
Yeah.
Right? And then what?
Well, he dumps her, and then Trump's putting her off to some.
Well, he exiled her. Yeah. What Trump did, he did him a favor. Yeah. Now Trump likes the person he's with because she's well educated. She's sophisticated.
Who, he's got a new girl?
Yeah, there's a new girl. She's more of a socialite.
Yeah.
She fits the mold of a Trump kind of clan.
But who he exiled?
I think. So what he did is he said, okay, now that you dumped her, I'm going to give her the position of ambassador to fucking Greece. So he exiles her out of the fucking country.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty Roman.
So she's out of the way.
That's pretty Roman
she's out
right
of the way
there.
now. You can do what you want. You don't have to hear from her anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was interesting. And that's one way. That's one way to handle it.
She could go play with the Greek guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all Greek.
Right? Well, it's one way to handle it, but I mean, the whole thing about him dating that chick just makes me kind of sick. I wanted to remind you guys on Saturday something really, really cool happens. First I want to say, because some people have commented that we talked about football last time with the flags and stuff, and you talk about stolen valor a lot, and I'm so sick of hearing this. Have you guys ever heard of Bill Belichick?
Yeah.
You heard of him?
Mm-hmm.
I don't follow sports.
Okay. Belichick was the coach of the Patriots.
Yeah,
you heard of Tom Brady, right?
Heard the name.
Yeah. So Bill Belichick was the coach of the Patriots when Tom Brady was quarterback.
Yeah.
Right. So Tom Brady, they go to, I don't know how many Super Bowl. He wins 7 of them. He goes to fucking 10 of them, I think. It's just insane. Yeah. Right? He's a winner. He's a fucking winner. Whether you can say what you want about him, he wins.
Is he the one that got the divorce though? The woman.
Yeah. With the model.
Who was she?
What was her name?
Giselle or something?
Giselle. Yeah.
Giselle Bundchen.
Just stupid
Tom
shit.
Brady. Yeah.
So this grumpy old man, Belichick, he coached for the Browns, I think, for 3 years, 4 years, whatever it was, before, and then he took over and he had a losing record, lost more games than he won. Then he becomes the coach of the Patriots before Brady. He's a loser again, lose. Brady comes on board by accident, wins. Right, becomes a winning coach. Then Brady leaves, and he went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The whole conversation was, does Brady make Belichick or does Belichick make Brady? Well, exactly. Brady proved it.
Yeah.
Brady leaves, wins again on a brand new team that sucked. They win the Super Bowl again, and Belichick loses every fucking season after Brady leaves, right? But everybody keeps calling Belichick the greatest of all time. No, he's not, because when he wasn't with Brady, he had a 400 winning percentage, which means around 40%.
Yeah.
After, with him, it was 700, 70%, right? Best coach ever. And what pisses me off, and talk about leadership. When you're a real leader, you can win with almost anybody, because it's your job to bring the most out of somebody, out of anybody. You maximize what their potential is. And there was a coach, they never talk about him. They talk about, when we talk about stolen valor all the time, they put the wrong people up, right? They lift them up, and they forget about the guy who really did the work. Yeah. There was a coach of the Redskins. He went to 3 different Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks that were nobodies, and won all 3 of them. Which meant he could take anybody and fucking win. But anyway, so this guy just took a coaching job with North Carolina, and he's going to prove what we're saying, because he's going to fucking lose there too. But anyway,
but he has history with North Carolina, doesn't he?
Because his dad was a coach there. His dad coached there, yeah. But the reason I bring this up is because bringing up football is because Saturday is something really, really cool: the Army-Navy game.
Yeah.
The Army-Navy game is they play for what's called the Commander-in-Chief Trophy. And it was really, really cool to watch when Trump was president, because the president always shows up. Biden's not going to be there, I'm sure.
The troops loved President Trump.
And when he would show up, it was cool, man. Because you could see he would walk onto the field, and he looked like a commander-in-chief with his wife. and you could see how the players responded to him.
Yeah.
But the pageantry, the pomp and circumstance of this game, it's the 124th game. Like, think about how long they've been playing each other. Army, Navy. Army's at West Point. West Point was founded by Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah.
The Naval Academy was founded. The initial idea for the Naval Academy was John Quincy Adams.
Mhm.
So think of the history, right?
Yeah.
And these players, the thing that makes it so special is that when you watch these players come on the field, these are men that have to go to 4 years of school. Then they get out, and they have to commit to, I think, serving 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, 4 years.
Right, as an officer.
Yeah.
And a lot of them end up getting killed because they go overseas and they fight in wars. And it's interesting to me because when they play other teams, like if they play, let's say Army plays like Alabama, right? Alabama's a powerhouse.
Yeah.
The Alabama players, they are coddled. They are given NIL deals, which is a new thing now where they're paid. College players being paid, name, image, likeness. So they're getting contracts now. It's like professional sports. They go into a portal, meaning like if they don't like the team they're at, they don't like the way they're treated, they go into a portal and they can transfer to another team. At the Naval Academy and West Point, those kids, they don't have NIL deals. They don't get paid ever. They can't transfer out. In fact, you can't even transfer in. If you transfer to either one of those academies, if you transfer in, you can't transfer over as like a junior and say, okay, I'm gonna finish my junior year and my senior year. No. You gotta fucking start over again.
Yeah.
Like, they're so hardcore, you start all over again. And these players, they did a story on what it's like to be a player for one of these fucking teams. Now, the opposing teams, like when you think about Alabama and all the other, normal colleges, those guys barely even go to class.
Yeah.
They fuck off. They're treated like professional athletes. They're given everything, given cars, money, girls, whatever. These guys, their day is insane.
Yeah.
First of all, where they sleep, where they stay, it's like a jail cell. They get nothing. There's like bare walls, bare floors, bare desk. Their bed sucks. Like, awful. Then they have to get up at 6 a.m. every fucking day, and they do military training. They do leadership classes. They have classes that are so hardcore, aeronautical stuff, military studies. They do logic, of course, because they want to teach these guys not what to think, but how to think.
Yeah.
Their studies are so rigorous. Their exams are so rigorous. Like, it's nonstop. They leave at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. They don't get back to their dorms until 9 p.m. Everything is scheduled. And in between that, they have football, practice. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So to watch these guys knowing that they're there, when they interview them, they say, look, we're not here to make money. We're not here to do anything. We're here to serve our country. We're here to do something that's bigger than us. And it's such a difference. I remember when I played sports at Maryland, and I was on the rugby team. We played the Naval Academy, and we went down there. And I remember it was homecoming. And I remember walking on the campus there, and it was in Annapolis. And I remember seeing all the men in white after the game. They all went back. We were still hanging out, and they went back and dressed in their whites, and they were going to the homecoming. The interesting thing was the girls would see us, and they were in their gowns. And we were staying overnight because we traveled back the next day. And they would try hitting on us. And we're like, man, why are you hitting on us? These guys are in the Naval Academy. They're dressed in their whites. They got it squared away, everything in their lives. They said, no. These guys are the biggest assholes, partiers, hardcore partiers. It was funny to fucking hear that. But I can understand. These guys are cooped up, working their asses off all day long. And when they finally get free time, they want to let loose, man.
Yeah.
So when you watch this game, it really makes you proud to be an American, to see like the potential of young people in this country. We just don't want to let the woke virus enter these campuses, which they do.
Well, they're all over those
West
campuses.
Point and Annapolis. So you got to protect them. But watch it if you can. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
It's gonna be cool.
This Saturday, huh?
Yeah. And
How many home runs do they make, you think?
Oh, that's funny. That's fun. But it's funny because they don't like they're not fancy. They don't throw the ball out. They just run. It's almost like a war. They just run until one beats the other one over. You know.
Yeah.
But there was a player. Do you remember the guy named Roger Staubach?
Yeah.
Roger Staubach. They called Captain America, Naval Academy, quarterback, wins the Heisman, and he doesn't get to go into the pros. He has to serve
He did his 5 years.
Vietnam. Served in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Cleanest cut guy ever. Captain America, like I said.
Yeah.
One of the coolest guys ever.
Do you live?
Comes out. Oh yeah. Comes back. Gets recruited by the Cowboys and becomes one of the best all-time quarterbacks ever. But he lost his prime.
Yeah.
Because he didn't play until he probably didn't start playing until he's 25, 26 years old, 27 even.
Yeah, he did his time. He served his 4 or 5 years or whatever.
Yeah, he became a billionaire. I think he started a real estate company.
Yeah.
It's huge, smart guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wanted.
He didn't burn those brain cells out, playing football in his prime, partying, right?
Good point.
He was a well-seasoned, disciplined man by the time he got into the NFL.
He was American, and he really did act like it.
Yes.
And I wanted to talk about that because as we go into the holidays now, it's a kind of a holiday season game, and keep it a little bit light, tonight. What do you guys got planned for the holidays, by the way?
Nothing too special.
You gonna be hanging around?
My mom's coming to visit.
Yeah.
So from Florida.
That's cool. When was the last time you seen her?
Probably about a year. I think I saw her last year, maybe 2 years.
Well, we wish her from the three of us. We wish her Merry Christmas
for sure.
Happy New
Yeah,
Year.
and let her know if she wants to meet the guys from the podcast.
She's gonna want to meet everybody in person, I'm sure.
Yeah, I've met her. She hasn't met Kim yet, right?
Huh? She hasn't met you in person, but she knows you from the podcast.
But she watches.
She knows me.
She knows you from the podcast.
She watches, man.
Yeah.
You can spend time with your kids too, right? Your boys?
Yeah, so spend time with them.
You gonna go see your kids?
I'm gonna see my kids.
Yeah. I get to spend my first Christmas
with your family.
With my boy.
There you go.
Taking more pictures of a big turkey leg or what? You do turkey or what? Is Christmas? That's another turkey dinner.
It's supposed to be. Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day, like how it's turkey twice. I don't know. Maybe try something else.
You could do turkey, I guess.
Yeah. But we're gonna be open at the restaurant, I think, too, on Christmas Eve. Usually a lot of people come in.
That'd be awesome.
Have a nice fish dinner. We have a lot of good fish there. So
that's beautiful.
Cioppino and clams and mussels and.
You're getting me hungry when you're talking about like great food over at that restaurant.
Yeah.
I'm glad I live close by because I pop in there all the time.
You're like 2 minutes away, man.
Yeah.
The last seafood I had was the scallops and linguine. You got the biggest. You got the biggest scallops and
the best.
Oh, big, tender, seared on the outside. They're beautiful.
And our friend Dan was just saying this the other day. He's like, I've been all over. He said nobody has these kind of scallops, these big scallops.
Yep.
Like here, and he was having them.
Yep.
They're one of my favorites.
Our shrimp parmesan too, which you don't find anywhere hardly, but the shrimp that we have is so beautiful.
That's a unique
butterfly,
meal.
Big shrimp. Yeah, it's really good. But people, if they ever want to come by and say hello, we usually have a big group of guys at the big Godfather table. As you walk in, a bunch of the guys are usually hanging out there. People walk by and go, "What's going on? You guys having a meeting?" Usually, like a lot of us kind of.
It looks like a meeting, huh?
Looks like a meeting. We're all wearing our suits, hanging out.
Yeah,
it's a good time on Friday nights. But
yeah.
Any parting words?
Well, I mean, I like your Americans act like it. Those are some.
You are Americans, and you better act like it, especially going into the new year. And the person that needs to remember that more than anybody is Donald Trump.
Yes.
You're a fucking American. Act like it. Follow through on the promises that you made. A lot of people are feeling encouraged and inspired by the things that he said he was going to do. Now fucking do them.
Yeah,
right?
you made a lot of commitments to get elected, so don't start going soft on them now. You got to stay with it.
Yeah,
there's a standard's been set, and you got to stick with it.
Give Americans the Christmas gift that you promised them.
Now I gotta say,
right?
2024 has been sucked. It sucked for me, and I'm looking forward to 2025 because I need a fucking change. And so 2024, I've been fucking holding on and impatient, but enough's enough. Ring in the new year, 2025, with like a new plan, a new day,
Yeah.
new things, hope and change, like they used to say. But this time, the real good hope and the real good change, because we need it. Because something's wrong, and this 2024, it's just been a malaise, right? Just, I'm done. I'm ready for a better year, Tony. I'm ready for a better year, Donald Trump. I want a better year.
Yeah.
I want 2025 to be a good year for all of America and all Americans and me and Tony and everybody here.
Yep.
Yeah, and if by chance Donald Trump's listening to this and they need some advice from some people who have some good ideas, we're here.
We're here, yeah.
We'll keep him on track for sure.
Absolutely.
If he had us standing right next to him, that's for
Absolutely.
damn sure. And he owes it to us. If he comes to Orange County, he owes us a visit.
Yeah.
Because you know what our place represents.
The front lines.
It is
This
the
is
front
it.
line.
The front
Yeah.
lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You
what it
had
is.
fucking, they said undercovers in because you're staying open. Fucking, these fucking deep state, these fucking, all
Everybody.
these fucking
I'll never forget.
overreach.
I'll never forget who was the congressman we talked about that I told you came and he gave me a warning. He worked for Reagan.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Can't remember.
The guy in Huntington Beach, Rohrbacher.
Yeah, Dana Rohrbacher.
He walked in there and he said to me, "Tony, they know who you are.
Yeah.
You know who you're fucking with. Like,
Yeah.
they know who you are, man. This is a dangerous game."
Yeah.
I said, "I don't give a fuck." And I said in front of my mother, who's standing there, she said, "That's Dana Rohrbacher." I said, "Yeah." So he came over. He was really, really nice to her. She was sitting in the
He's
car.
a nice man.
We're getting ready to take her home. Violet was going to take her home, and he walked over to the car window. She rolled it down, and he spoke to her. He was very, very genuinely towards her, which I appreciated.
Yeah.
So Tommy, who heads our production, he has to leave town. So we're trying to figure out what our schedule is going to be. We may take another week break. It's the holidays. It's a challenging time for us to be, pulling everything together. Next year, obviously, we're going to hit the ground running hard, but we're going to try to keep it going through December. We'll do our best.
Yeah. It's a matter of schedules for people.
Yep. So until next time, guys.
All right.
It's good seeing you again. See you soon.
God willing.
Amen.